Hello and welcome to the journey of self-discovery. Today I want to talk about a very delicate subject matter, and yesterday I have recorded a video regarding this subject, and I was speaking from a script which really helps me to find the right words and to be very clear. But I thought, since this is a subject that somehow everyone feels so personally involved in and everyone has a very personal opinion about it, I decided to re-record the video and speak about it completely without script and from a personal perspective. So the subject today is Krishna Consciousness possible for me if I'm homosexual? And I wanted to be very specific with Krishna Consciousness. I didn't want to write in the title, this is about religion, this is about spirituality, can homosexuals be spiritual? It would maybe really offend some people who are identifying themselves with such a sexuality. And so I want to make it very much based on Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhanta. So Siddhanta means the conclusion of this philosophy. So I want to get with you through all kinds of points on homosexuality, how it appears in the Vedas, how it influences our society, specifically ISKCON, because in the West homosexuality is actually very much a topic that is of modern concern and that is really much in the minds of people, and everyone has very strong opinions about it. And I would like to invite you for a discussion, a very human discussion where we do not make discrimination, we do not judge someone for his particular choice of sexuality. And I will go with you through all kinds of philosophical aspects that concerns homosexuality. So in this regard, I would like to start with my own sexuality, because we all discover our certain tastes in a certain period of our life. I at one point was wondering myself whether I might be homosexual, not because I was thinking men are very attractive, but because for me it took so long until I found women attractive that I was really thinking, well, am I sort of abnormal? Am I maybe asexual, having no attraction to anyone or anything? Or am I homosexual? Maybe I like men and I don't even know it. And this was around when I was 14, 15, and many of my friends, they were already for like 2 years dating women and having sex with them, and I was thinking, well, what is wrong with me? I just don't want it. And then when I was 16, I was really considering, I find women attractive. And so then at one point I discovered that, okay, probably I'm just attracted to women. And this is funny because even I have many homosexual friends who are practicing Krishna Consciousness, and we talk very intimately about this subject. And I told them that I can imagine that if I would be in a woman's body, I could be lesbian. I mean, maybe I find women very attractive. Maybe it would carry in another body. And this is where I want to open and start the discussion, because the first thing we have to understand in Krishna conscious philosophy is that we are not the body. So it doesn't matter what attraction we have, it is false. And this is the Vedas themselves are very clear about sex being an obstacle in spiritual life, a material sex specifically. And we will talk about this subject when it comes to rasa. So rasa is a very essential subject in Bhakti-Yoga. In the Nectar of Devotion, we will find very detailed and deep information about Rasa-Tattva. Tattva means the truth. Earlier, I talked about Siddhanta as the conclusion of everything. And now, Rasa-Tattva, with Tattva I mean the truth about the subject. So the truth about Rasa is that Krishna has 5 predominant tastes in which he enjoys loving relationships. And the first one is one of neutrality. Neutrality is described as something, for example, like trees or inanimate objects like stones that are attracted to Krishna, but they do not identify with any of the other rasas, so they're in a neutral position. The next one is one of servitorship. So one feels attracted to the Lord as he is my master and I'm his servant. Devotees generally already have a dasya rasa. Everyone considers himself a devotee of Krishna who is in a transcendental relationship with him. But in this relationship, one is particularly attracted to serve Krishna like a menial servant. Like, for example, usually these particular type of boys, for example, in the spiritual world, are very young, like 8 years old, and Krishna is very senior in age, but they still are in his, palace and place, and help decorating him, dressing him, help Mother Yashoda to arrange something for him, and in this way they have a certain relationship in the mood of a master and a servant. So then the third rasa, that is that of friendship. So in friendship there is intimate relationship, but not just men can be in friendship with Krishna, also women, also gopis, they can have a friendship with Krishna. So in friendship there are things like playing around, and helping each other. For example, in his love life, there are also friends of Krishna who really like to support him meeting the gopis, and other friends, they don't even are really interested in Krishna's relationship with the gopis. They are more with hanging out with Krishna, as friends. And this way there are many variations of Sakya Rasa. Then the next rasa, the fourth rasa, is parenthood. And this is a relationship of parentship, like Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj. Krishna is constantly your son. Not just son, actually, all types of superiors, even like aunts or uncles, or just, senior persons who have some sort of affection for Krishna in a way that he is their dependent. Then we have the last rasa, which is Madhurya rasa, which is conjugal relationship. So conjugal relationship will be very essential for our discussion, because what we are talking about here when we speak about homosexuality, heterosexuality, we identify it with Madhurya rasa. We identify it with being of a conjugal nature. So there's sex, there's intimacy, there's touching, there's kissing, and all these type of exchanges. And how this relationship is manifested in the spiritual world, that is of an essential point in the discussion here. So Rasa-Tattva is very deep. I recommend each and every one of you to, if you didn't already read it, read The Nectar of Devotion by Srila Prabhupada, or if you already read The Nectar of Devotion of Srila Prabhupada, consider reading it again, or to actually read the original Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Rupa Goswami, where you can get some other insights. But first of all, we should read the Nectar of Devotion before we go to the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu itself. So I have read both, or Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu I haven't quite finished, but I read the Nectar of Devotion, and there is one essential subject which is called Rasa-Bhasa. So I want to a little bit get into Rasa-Bhasa by explaining you first of all what is actually rasa. So rasa means transcendental taste. When there is a loving relationship with the Lord, there is a certain enjoyment, there's a certain exchange between the devotee and the Lord, and this exchange is ecstatic. In the Nectar of Devotion you also find a description of the transcendental ecstasy that different devotees experience in different rasas. So it's a very essential subject matter for our philosophy to understand what is rasa, what is actual transcendental taste with the Lord. We understand Rasa-Bhasa meaning incompatible taste. So that means if there are two rasas which all by themselves are really nice, if they are combined they're not enjoyable by the Lord. And in this way, if there's a Rasa-Bhasa, one example that Srila Rupa Goswami brings in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is that a mother of Krishna will not from one of a sudden feel like she has a conjugal relationship with Krishna. If the mother has a conjugal relationship with the son, it's very weird. The son has a relationship with his mother, which is of a conjugal nature. It is very weird. It is very unnatural. And nowadays we have to be tolerant and respectful for all types of things, but even biologically, if you have sex with your mother, if you have sex with your sister, the children will probably be crippled, and that is a sign that actually there's something seriously wrong. And in this way, Rasa-Bhasa means it is not compatible, it is not enjoyable. In this combination, for example, Mother Yashoda will not one way of another feel like she's Srimati Radharani and have a conjugal relationship with Krishna, like kissing, like embracing in such a way. That is just not happening. And if we are going into the homosexual rasa, which we, for now, for the point of discussion, can accept as an actual taste, something I want to experience, that is also incompatible that, for example, a boyfriend of Krishna will not suddenly feel like, oh, I want Krishna to be my boyfriend and have sex with him or kiss with him or embrace in such a manner like a man would embrace his wife or his beloved. So this very much is of need in our philosophy to understand that a homosexual rasa with Krishna is not possible. So we cannot love Krishna like he's our boyfriend or husband as man. This is just incompatible to him. And we may not even care for that right now, and that is fine. It's not something that we should be afraid of, or because I am homosexual, Krishna will not accept me. No, he will definitely accept you if you practice sincerely Krishna consciousness by chanting his holy name, by reading the holy scriptures, and by performing devotional service. However, if we're getting into the philosophy of rasa, we have to understand the basic of karma, reincarnation, and that we are not the body. So we carry life after life different desires from one body to the next, and our subtle body, which is separate from the gross body, which you can see the physical appearance made of 5 elements: water, fire, air, earth and ether. The subtle body is made of mind, intelligence and false ego. So the mind, intelligence and false ego, they are connected and they carry from one body to the next. If we're having, for example, a female body and we love men very much, we had a very intimate, nice conjugal relationship with a man in one lifetime, then maybe due to influence of our karma, due to influence of our desire we have cultivated in the last life, and due to the influence of the last thoughts we have at the time of death, we may develop a body of a man just as a result of karma, even though it's not really wanted. But we still have the desire for conjugal relationship with a man. So in this way, at some point in our life, when we start to develop this desire for conjugal feelings, we may discover that we are homosexual. And that is completely in line with our philosophy that, this is actually a taste we carry from our previous life. So some of my friends who are homosexual, they have only relationship with one person of the same sex because they fall in love with them. And they never had a homosexual relationship before. They may not even have a homosexual relationship after, but they just fell in love with one person. And in one sense, there's nothing wrong about it. What we have to understand here is that because of our previous desires and our association with material nature, we are encaged in this body. We don't have a choice to appear in the body we like. We are given a body by material nature, and this body may fit to our desires or may not. And if it does not fit to our desire, then we may find ourselves developing an attraction towards the same gender. Now, for my personal life, I'm good friends. Actually, one of my best friends is was in a homosexual relationship, and another friend who's also identifying himself as mainly homosexual, he also had a relationship with women, so that would be bisexual in that sense. And we had very, very intimate talks about trying to understand, what is the actual situation. And an interesting thing, because they are practicing devotees, I asked them, can you imagine to have a conjugal relationship with Krishna? That Krishna is so attractive, he's a very attractive man. Could you think that you would become a gopi for him? And they both answered with yes, because they really like to be attracted to men, and they really feel like they are entrapped in the wrong body. Many people who are now feeling like they are transgender or homosexual, they feel like they are born in the wrong body, and this is completely in line with our philosophy. So we shouldn't think that this is abnormal. It's actually not abnormal. It's actually not abnormal in the sense that it cannot happen, it cannot exist. It just means that we may be confused with our own identity. And that is also something that most homosexuals go through, that they have an identity crisis and they don't know who they are, they don't know what they like, and they feel rejected by society. They feel like they are not tolerated by society for some unreasonable fears, or for misinformation, or for prejudice. And these are all things that are getting very ugly faces in the form of violence or hatred, or being rejected. And these are all things that a Vaishnava society should not at all be involved in, because our main point in our philosophy, our requirement how we can actually get Krishna consciousness, is to follow the following verse of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Tinadapi sanichena tarodapi sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya swadahari. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. And if we are actually following this verse, there can be absolutely no talk about intolerance. There can be no talk about disrespectfulness. No, we should respect everyone. And that includes homosexuals, bisexuals, or whatever sexuals, or even transgenders. If they are interested in Krishna conscious philosophy, we must embrace them with open arms. And in this way, no one should feel rejected from the society of Krishna consciousness. They shouldn't feel like God hates them. No, they may are just confused, they may just have an identity crisis, or they may just enjoy their particular conjugal rasa so much they don't want to change. And we are not in the position to say, hey, you have to change, Krishna doesn't like it. Well, yeah, Krishna has a taste and you have a taste. So if you want a gay relationship with a man, you have to find someone who is gay that will fall in love with you, and that's perfectly fine. But we cannot expect Krishna to become our gay boyfriend, or we cannot expect Radharani to become our lesbian girlfriend. This is just not within their taste. And in this way, first of all, we should understand that there's absolute freedom in discovering yourself in Krishna consciousness, and you even can have a gay boyfriend or a lesbian girlfriend. Doesn't matter. You can practice the chanting of the holy name, you can read the scriptures, and you can understand this philosophy that I'm trying to tell you now, that maybe you're just born in the wrong body. Maybe you want to have a relationship with the Lord that is in a conjugal way, or maybe you want to even have a conjugal relationship with a woman in the spiritual world. That's also perfectly fine, and Krishna will help you to achieve this. And if you worship him and follow the instructions of Bhagavad Gita, you will definitely understand who you are and what is your actual relationship. Actually, conjugal rasa in the spiritual world is so predominant, even the trees and creepers have it. It's explained by some of the scriptures of the Six Goswamis, that the creepers in Vrindavan, they creep around the trees in this way, like a lover would embrace his beloved. So it's a very, Madhurya Rasa is very deep, and even the plants in the spiritual world have it. Here also in the material world you will find all kinds of, whether it be animals, human beings, insects, there's male and female principle, and then there is procreation in this way. So this is one point I really would like to speak next about, because we have to speak about this if we are speaking about homosexuality and how it is in the face of God. Homosex will not lead to children. And in this way, homosexuality by itself is not needed. And I know some people will probably feel offended by me saying this, but in Krishna conscious philosophy, sex by itself is to be restricted, is to be limited only to the necessary. Illicit sex is a very important principle in Krishna consciousness that we should actually avoid. And if we're speaking about illicit sex, so sex within a married life to beget children, this is supported by Krishna. This is supported by the regulative principles. But if we speak about being in a gay relationship and having sex with the same sex, that is just lust. And we are living in a world where lust is something completely fine and normal and tolerated by everyone, because everyone has sex. It's completely normal for the material body, and this is something that is really an obstacle in spiritual life. Unfortunately, it would be much nicer if it's just all fun and we can have sex as we like and chant the holy name and it's fine, but it's not, and that's unfortunately the truth. And if you are practicing Krishna consciousness, no matter your sexual orientation, you have to accept this. But that doesn't mean that if you're really feeling like you're in love with another man, or you even want to have lusty relationships with another man or with another woman, no one stops you, no one can. Krishna doesn't want to. Krishna wants you to love him in the way that you both agree. Krishna wants relationships where both parties are agreeable. So you will not find Krishna agreeing to have homosexual relationship with you, but you may find him agreeing to be your friend, you know. And in this way, you are still a man, and you still develop Bhakti-Yoga in your life, but Krishna becomes your friend. Or you maybe don't care to have a male body, and you become a gopi, and then you have a conjugal relationship with the Lord, who is the supreme male. It's actually explained again in Bhakti Rasa Sindhu, which we all should really read, that Krishna is attractive to both men and women. And so in this way, there is nothing that can stop us, nothing that should stop you if you identify yourself with being homosexual, to practice Krishna conscious freely, and don't get bothered or annoyed by people who are intolerant or who discriminate you. They're on a neophyte platform because they don't even know that in order to achieve Krishna conscious perfection, you need to bow down and pay respects to everyone, no matter who they are, no matter what they do, no matter how sinful they are, no matter how pious they are. We pay respect to everyone, and that's a very difficult discipline. And homosexuality somehow really seems to bother some people very much. I mean, I would be bothered if I would be raped by a man. I would be very much bothered by that. And this is a little bit also the story we have in the Srimad Bhagavatam, how homosexuality entered the cosmic creation in the way that Lord Brahma created a certain type of man, and they became sexually attracted to Brahma, and they wanted to rape him and even eat him. And it's a very ghastly story. We don't like to, I mean, I wanted to avoid narrating this, but it's in the Srimad Bhagavatam, so we should also mention this here. And people think like, wow, these religious people, they're crazy. They think homosexuals will just rape everyone and eat everyone. No, we don't say that. We just say this is how it entered the cosmic creation, and now it has developed in a different way. And now certainly not every homosexual will rape you, but definitely there are homosexuals who are capable to rape other men if they want to. And this is frightening, especially for men. This is also one of the reasons that probably men do have more a problem with gay people than they have with lesbians, because lesbians are not dangerous. You know, they will not be able to rape you. But you know, all the jokes they make, you know, don't let the soap drop in the prison. You know, there's no women around, so everyone is lusty, and you know, if you let the soap drop, they may rape you. And this is how it comes. This is why people are afraid of it. So don't be bothered by people who are, you know, intolerant or, you know, do not discriminate. But you know, if you don't rape another man, there is no legal offense. You know, so what's the deal? What's the problem? Especially devotees should be super tolerant, warm, and welcoming to anyone who is somehow interested in Krishna consciousness. So I hope this speak was not too much and not too boring, and I hope that it somehow creates involvement in you. And if you like to join the discussion, you can use the comment section and let us speak, but please keep it civil. Do not discriminate, do not be fanatic, and refer to Shastra for whatever you say. We can speak about so many subjects in this, like for example gay marriage. I don't support, the Vedas don't support, but you know, if you have a boyfriend anyway, what to do? If you want to keep him and practice Krishna consciousness, what's the problem? The same, I mean, I'm speaking mainly from the perspective of a man, but this counts the same for women, of course, who have a relationship with another woman and they feel very happy with that. I mean, we're not here to speak against happiness, we are here to show you what is real happiness, and this has to do with Rasa-Tattva. So read this book, read Nectar of Devotion, and this will give you the deepest understanding about the whole thing. And please, if you have any questions, mention them, and I can even make more videos on this if you want to. But I think this is a subject that really we should speak about, and it's not something we should shun or go away for. So thank you very much for watching. Please forgive if I have committed any offenses unintended. Please forgive me if I have done so, and I hope I see you next time.